So a lot of people think this toy life is just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And sure, it is all those things. But there also comes a time when the laughter has to stop. It's not all glitz and glamour. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the problems I've been encountering on my current run of toys, the He 1000. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about getting paint to adhere well to flexible resin. I don't want to be selling someone a toy and then all the paint flakes off the minute you touch it. We're going for archival quality here, people. I have 250 He 1000 parts here, enough to make 50 full figures. All the parts have been cast in resin, trimmed, washed in hot soapy water to remove any wax-based mold release spray that I used. I used a wax-based mold release spray as it can be washed off and painted, as opposed to a silicone-based mold release spray, which will give you a glossier finish, but you won't be able to wash it off or paint it easily. I use a resin called Zencast PX90 from Easy Composites. However, I recently found out it's not a particularly UV stable resin. In fact, it goes brown if left in direct sunlight. I tried to counteract that with the colour of the pigment that I made for the resin. I was hoping they would tan nicely over a period of time. I like my He-Man to have the complexion of a well-brewed tea. And vice versa. Cheers. It kind of, when left in the sun, tends to look a bit more nicotine stained, not a particularly desirable look. As a result of this, I've made the decision I'm going to paint them. For the flesh tone, I've landed on this one, Makeup from Montana Gold. I've done two tests here. This is actually Molotov Gold Cappuccino colour. I haven't tested it in that colour, but they've both been cleaned with hot soapy water. However, this one, I also cleaned the resin parts with an acetone. This stuff, methyl ethyl ketone, MEK 400. Not exactly sure what it is. All I know is it'll melt straight through plastic containers that you put it in, and also your gloves. So I've bought these special butyl rubber gloves, especially, and I'll be using these cotton buds, and I'll be wearing a mask and also doing it outside. Anyway, the one of these that I did not clean with acetone, you can see it's cracked a little bit. This one has been cleaned in acetone, the parts, and it's not getting that cracking. So they've both had the paint added and then a 2K clear coat added on top of that. However, this one that hasn't been cleaned with acetone, the paint isn't adhering as well to the resin without the acetone cleaning first. Now, here's one I made with just flexible pigmented resin. There's no paint on the flesh parts of this. However, this one probably will go a bit brown over time. After a bit of product testing, one of the first things I noticed was this Molotov liquid chrome was cracking quite easily when I was flexing the weapon. To counteract that, what I've actually done in these later models is before adding the liquid chrome, I add a 2K clear coat to the parts that I want to chrome. It acts as a primer and really strengthens the chrome, so I can give that quite a bend now without it just flaking off and cracking off. So yes, an unexpected extra hurdle to come over. I've got to clean them all with acetone and then paint all the parts. It's also going to potentially complicate matters further, as I did plan to mask off parts to then paint on the boots and such. So I'm going to have to be extra careful that when that masking tape's lifted up, that it doesn't then lift the flesh paint underneath. So hopefully you can learn from some of my mistakes. Yeah, I wouldn't say I've made a mistake. I don't make mistakes. Just a different, just taking a different path, that's all. Just an unexpected turn. Alright guys, keep an eye out for He 1000. It will come eventually. All I gotta do is paint 250 parts, clear coat them all, vacuum form 50 blister bubbles, and then they're on their way. Thanks for joining me. I've been Uncle Matty of Rainbow Yarn fame. Goodbye.